Yeah.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Heather, it is Tuesday, November 12th at 10 a.m. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Becker?
I'm here.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Zoller?
Here.
And sign the journal. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as outlined.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, minutes are approved. Old business, Ms. Wilson.
Old business, I have none today.
Okay. Either of the commissioners have any old business?
This report, Board of Elections did do a walkthrough last Tuesday on Election Day and with Dean from maintenance, so they've all looked at it. That's all I know.
Okay.
Any
Basically.
comments?
I mean, he said their reaction was positive, he thought. Dean said, I hadn't talked back to them, but Dean let me know that they did call and go through. And they.
How did it go election night? Because I seen your picture in the paper, so I think you were downstairs. You look very nice. You and Loretta, we have a
I
couple.
kind of looked like I was going to sleep, actually, a little bit. I was the target victim. I was the only one in the room when Jill decided she needed to take a picture.
Was there mass confusion?
Other
Is
than
it
the three AT reporters. No, I think everything went smoothly, as far as I know. I didn't hear any
in the existing space that they have?
in the existing space.
In the existing space they
Yeah,
have?
yeah. But again, that's not the early voting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Good.
that's it.
Two real quick pieces of old business. Holly and I were able to go to the chaplain's open house and really amazed at what they did with that building.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
really
that's right.
impressive.
Nice
I guess you
picture
were
in the
there.
paper. A nice picture, but was that all that was done, or that they really remodeled?
Did a
the
lot. I
building?
don't think they're completely done,
No.
but they're.
They got about 2/3 of the space that they've kind of done a lot to, and there's about 1/3 they've cleaned up and they're using, but they plan to do more with the floors and stuff in that section.
Yeah.
And that old men's dorms end.
Mm-hmm. They said it was, majority of it's all donations,
Yeah.
all community donations.
Mhm.
It was definitely impressive. It was-
Yes, yeah, compared to what.
Yeah, what it was, yeah. That's a wise use of county property there versus tearing it
I
down.
told Tracy, she surprised me. Second piece, and this is real preliminary, I'm not gonna give any numbers or anything yet, but issue one, looks like we have several projects that are going to be funded. It'll be official on November 22nd. Zimmerman and I go to Mansfield to vote on we're the two representatives from Seneca County to vote on the funding. So you don't wanna announce anything until then because it could change, but looks like we'll have several projects that will be funded in the issue one, so. That's all I have.
What's the total dollars that could potentially come to Seneca County?
Oh, several million,
Really?
yeah. Yeah, I guess I'd have to look at, we had like 7 or 8 applicants for it, and of course, not all of them will be funded. It's primarily water, sewer projects, and road projects. So, after the 22nd, we'll know exactly who's funded and who's not. New business.
I've asked Ken to come up and just a little bit of old business, talk about the ambulance that I brought up last week and just update on the meetings coming up, so if you don't
Okay.
mind letting him.
Sure, please.
Okay, well, I want to thank you guys for coming to the recognition ceremony that we had in Bettsville last week. And just a reminder that we have one tomorrow night in New Riegel, that's at the Township House on County Road 10. And then also Thursday night, we have another one, and that one's in Attica. And I know you have the times on those. I'll always screw that up, so I'm just going to let Stacy tell you exactly what time they are. They're at 7 or 7:30, and I always put them in early so I don't mess myself up. One of the things that we've been giving them is these coins that we purchased with recycled funds, and these are really neat. They're double-sided, and it's kind of a cool thing. And I chose these because I'd rather have this than like a wooden brass thing hanging on the wall that you hang up there for 3 or 4 years and it gets dusty and you throw it away. This one you can keep with you, put it in your purse, your pocket or whatever and have it with you, or put it in a shadow box and it's yours forever. And I think everybody looks at them and they're like really small and there's not much to them, but they're really kind of cool.
Yeah.
So after a while they'll really appreciate these. Plus we're doing coffee mugs and things like that, and really nice printed certificates that you guys were able to print for us on your really cool color printer. So
They needed that.
it's a really big deal for them, and it's the first time we've done it. We've been in operation 35 years, and like I said the other night, I think it's time we celebrate our history and what we've got accomplished, and then it's time to look to the future and figure out how we're going to do this. And with all the challenges that we face with funding and things like that. So that's that. The next thing is we're well on our way towards purchasing a brand new ambulance. I have a purchase agreement here from Wheel Coach Ambulance. Received a couple of quotes from 2 or 3 different manufacturers, and I requested quotes from others. But I didn't let the cat out of the bag on how much money I wanted to spend, but I told them I wasn't going to spend any more than. And Wheel Coach came in with a really good offer, and what's exciting about this is we're buying a custom truck, and this custom truck will be in our hands no later than April 14th, and it's going to go to a national trade show. So this truck, with our name and everything on the side, will be at a national convention, the largest instructor conference in the country, and it's an international conference, the Fire Department Instructors Conference in Indianapolis. So it'll be there for 3 days, April 10th through the 12th, and then we get it 2 days later. The cool thing about that is it'll be on a national stage. There'll be people from California, Australia, Europe, all over the place looking at our truck. And we did some custom work on it, custom interior. We did some things that are just real basic, because I'm kind of a real kind of basic kind of guy when it comes to buying an ambulance. And we got a really good price on it. They're understate purchasing by, I don't know how many $1,000s, a few $1,000s. So there's no need to bid it. We went under state pricing contract, and working with a company out of, where's the address on that?
Bluffton?
Out of Bluffton, Ohio.
That's where they make them at?
No, they make them in Florida, and then they finish them here. And what's going to happen is, because we're letting this truck go to the show, it will be delivered here with no charge. There's a possibility that if we go to the show, I can maybe take somebody from Green Springs or whatever, we can go to the state and drive it home. The issue with that is we'll still have to bring it back in and get radios and stuff put in it, but it'll be ready to go when it gets here, other than the radios. So I think we did a good thing, and Stacy worked with me on it, and it's, we kind of went head to head a little bit on which was the better deal and things like that, but she knows these numbers as well as anybody, and I think we did a really good job.
Will the lift be in it for the show, or will that come later?
The list.
I still haven't
Lift.
figured out if we've got I'm still trying to get the finalization for that grant
Okay.
put in.
Okay,
What we did on Saturday, we did some videotaping, because the part of the grant they require the way we do it now, and then the way we're going to do it with the lift.
okay,
So we're working on that.
okay, no problem.
And last but not least, on Thursday of this week, I'll be in Columbus for the charter meeting of the Ohio EMS Chiefs Association. Seneca County EMS will be one of the charter members of the establishment of the Ohio EMS Chiefs Association, which is very similar to the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, except it's for EMS. We are one of 28 other agencies in Ohio that kind of run our model, what we call the third service model. We're not fire, we're not cops, we're a true third service. So what that'll do is gives us a seat at the table for negotiation at the state level. There'll be people there from the governor's office, there'll be people there from Ohio Board of EMS and the medical director's office. And if any of you guys would like to go, I know it's kind of late notice, but November 14th is the meeting in Columbus at 9 a.m. And I've never been a part of one of these formation of a board, but I assume it's a pretty big deal. So sign a bunch of things and we get to be charter members. So we will have a vote on that board and a seat at the table at the state. So
Great.
that's pretty much my update for you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your update, your work,
Yeah.
and we look forward to all these squad meetings.
Yeah, and I know you guys have a list of those, and If you guys want to look closer at this, I can pass it around, but I think most of you have seen it.
And I think even just the fact that somebody appreciates them more than the tokens
Absolutely.
really goes a long way. I
Yeah.
think it did at Betsville, didn't
I think it's really good to get them out and make sure that their township association, local elected officials get to know who their folks are. That's very important, so that the recognition can happen at the local level. And then we can work together into the future.
it seemed like a good recruiting tool too, because the talk there was how can we get more EMTs and this and that. So-
I always talk about that, and I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
that's important to keep reminding them, because it's real easy to sit back and go, oh, look at all the EMTs we got.
Mhm.
When a lot of our EMTs, like myself, are getting up there in age, and we don't, you know, there's only so long you can do this. Some of them have been doing it for 30 years.
Holly was just commenting on how old you were.
Yeah, I'm ancient. Not really.
Do you ever have many functions where they all get together?
Not very many, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that we try to keep a presence in the communities that we serve, so we don't bring everybody to one spot and then have the world end over here, you know. So that, and also a lot of our guys are they're dedicated. They'll stay there. They're like, wow, I know them guys are going over to Meadowbrook to have a big time, but I'm going to stay here and make sure our squad's covered. So a lot of times we don't get a huge turnout to those events. One of the, you know, we get people at the fair. You know, the fair is a week-long event. Everybody comes, but not all at the same time. You know, so
This
no,
way-
we really don't. I'd like to, but we really don't.
Well, this way we're going right to them. I mean, that makes a statement, I think.
Yeah.
We're going right to them.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
that was the original thought, was to have a big giant dinner and have everybody come, and we'll make a big shindig out of it. But after talking to the local coordinators, I think it's a better idea to do it the way we're doing it. It recognizes them in the environment that they're in and what they're comfortable in. It's their hometown most of the time. And it lets the local government officials kind of lead the show a little bit.
Yeah.
I think there's advantages though with a larger group at times, not to do it every year, but it's kind of the camaraderie ship.
I agree.
That you have the different groups and they all have the same common goal and the same interest, but I never thought about that. I mean, you would have certain levels that may be so dedicated, they don't want to leave their post
Well, and we also
unattended, so
have,
that's an issue.
and we also have, we have big events, big training events. We had one Saturday at Sentinel, where I had 30 or so people show up from all different squads. And we show up and we have, you know, coffee and donuts and do a little training here and there, hands-on stuff. And we do those several times a year, and it gets everybody together. But I know what you're saying, and I would, if it wasn't for the cost, I'd have a huge Christmas dinner for everybody. But cost is an issue when you're trying to put something like that together.
I would still advocate, you know, if maybe not the Christmas dinner, in the summer, a picnic type thing. It's
Sure.
not a great deal of cost where you get everybody together and a family day, and you got people all of the same interest in.
That's a good idea, and we may consider something like that, and I think it would be relatively cheap if everybody kind of brings their own stuff and we just grill out.
Yeah, we're not, you know, talking great shakes of money there, and it's a real feel-good type thing, because we desperately need that group and the support there, so.
But I think what we're doing with this is a very good start to open the lines of communication between the township. And we need to consider what we're gonna do for the future, because what we've done has been very successful. But with the way things change financially, with healthcare reform and things that are like that, our budget's gonna definitely change, take a hit, as everybody does. So we need to consider that as we move forward.
Thank you again for coming in. We appreciate your service and your coordinating with us.
I know you and I kind of made some comments in the past that, you know, maybe it's time to start getting a group together of the EMS to come up with some long-term strategies that we can look at over the next 3 to 5 years and formulate some strategies, and that, you know, we're gonna have to come up with ways to how to support that and so forth. But we realize
Right.
that you're on a shoestring with where you are, and it's the situation's gonna continue to deteriorate. You're doing an excellent job of trying to keep it together, but long-term, as you mentioned, there's some real issues long-term.
And that's
So,
exactly why we're
yeah.
doing this, to get those local government officials, make them aware of it, bring them to the table, and discuss not only financial options, but also operational ideas for the next 3 decades. Which you gotta have a pretty good vision in you to see something that far away. But if we can go from 5-year plan to 5-year plan, I'd be cool with that. And really things are changing so much in healthcare right now. I don't think we should shoot any further than 3 to 5 years. Because who knows where we'll be. But what we have is a pretty solid background and a very solid backbone of, we've got very good equipment, we've got very good people, we've got very good training and very good oversight. What we need is more very good people.
Yeah. All right, anything else on the board? Okay, thank you. Let me back up just a little bit on that issue 1. Each application has to be under $500,000. So when I said several million, that was probably an exaggeration. It'll be something over $1 million that comes to Seneca County would be my guess.
And that's a combination of projects.
Combination of projects.
They have to be over or under
Have to be
$500,000?
under $500,000.
Under $500,000.
In order to get the points. I mean, you can turn in a project over $500,000, but you lose 10 points, and that throws you right out the window. So. All right, new business.
New business. I have an appropriation adjustment within the general fund, moving $577.50 from other expense to postage. We had an issue with our postage machine, so we actually had to take them up to the post office and do postage, so we didn't have any money for that. I have an appropriation adjustment for the Soil and Water Conservation District, 042, moving $5,000 out of equipment to hospitalization. I have a resolution authorizing an appropriation adjustment within the Capital Projects Fund, 215, moving $27,000 from contingencies to the RTA line. This is for the phone system. I have an appropriation adjustment within the general fund, moving $500 from uniforms in the 0305 account to his 0306 account. That's for the sheriff, moving from his roadside to the jail side. I have resolution setting the maintenance basis for the Seneca County ditches maintained by the Seneca County Ditch Maintenance Program. There's a lot of them on here. These are all set in accordance with section 6137.11 of ORC, and they're all listed. I have a resolution for the approval of the maintenance assessments for the Blanchard River Stream Enhancement Project Maintenance Fund to be collected in 2015. And Hancock approves, and as long as we approve, it'll be the need of $9 per parcel maintenance assessment for all parcels within the Hancock County BRES to be collected over a 1-year period and placed on the tax delinquent year for 2014 for collection in 15.
That was like a $10 assessment or
Yep,
something.
$9, yep.
$9.
And I have resolution authorizing contract with Impact Network Solutions for the phone system at the RTA in the courthouse building. And that's all the resolutions I have.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
I've got a question on the phone system though, the 27, isn't it?
Do you want to second it, then we'll discuss?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask a
Second.
question too. Yeah.
Okay, then discussion on any of these?
Okay, yeah, on the phone system for 27, there was a 27 and there was a 24, and then there was a debate on how many phones.
Yep.
Well, always comes to the high side. Never comes-
That was, the 24 was the 66 phones, and we needed 70. So it's the same cost. Actually, it was a little bit cheaper because you get one more extra phone because of the buy one, get one free. So it was actually a little bit cheaper, but it's the same exact price. I did get another quote from a local company, must have seen it in the newspaper that we were looking. Same company I got bids for back in March. And they were higher then, and, you know, he submitted a new one and he was still a little bit higher, so we're gonna go with Impact. And they just gotta schedule the meetings with the department heads to figure out what they want their programming to be, but it's all included. We have a 12-month, they'll come back for anything, any programming, just to show somebody the details of, I mean, even just as simple as the setting up your voicemail or different things like that. They extended that to a year, so. but
Do
the-
we get definition on the various departments? Are they gonna contribute for the phones itself, not the system, but the phones itself?
We were gonna put that back under cost allocation.
Because we're
Okay.
doing this out of 215 out of the capital improvement.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Any other questions? Do you have any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Wetton?
Yes. Okay, any other new business?
I do have a proclamation. See if they have a specific date in here. Yep. I have a proclamation for, whereas the theme of November 2013 is National Adoption Month, partnering for permanency, and whereas 17 children are currently residing in foster homes in Seneca County, whereas 2,294 of the children in foster care are waiting to be adopted in the state of Ohio, 3 being in Seneca County, whereas children awaiting adoption are typically older and or siblings who desire to grow up together and are often those with special needs, whereas providing a child with a loving family and a safe place to grow is one of the life's greatest and most generous gifts, whereas children can succeed and reach their full potential when they have a positive relationships with caring adults and are placed in permanent homes. Whereas adoption offers a unique experience that positively impacts the child's life and permanently enriches the life of the adoptive parent or family that welcomes them. Whereas the Seneca County Department of Job and Family Services and other public or private child care agencies throughout the state work diligently to search for permanent homes for Ohio's children in need, whereas Wednesday, November 13th, 2013 is designated as Ohio's Adoption Advocacy Day. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners, Seneca County, Ohio, do hereby proclaim November 2013 as Adoption Recognition and Recruitment Month in the county, and in so doing so urge all citizens to join in the national efforts to raise awareness and help support children's needing a permanent family. That's all I
And
have.
we can just sign that,
Yep.
we don't need a resolution or anything.
Yep.
Might say in a conjunction with that for the newspapers, if anybody's interested in adoption, they can contact Job and Family Services and begin that process. Anything else for new business? Holly?
Nothing.
Fred?
Yeah. The only thing I have is I'd like to make a recommendation that we do a proclamation. It's an individual in Fostoria, Levi Galloway, who took on an Eagle Scout award, and he renovated the kitchen in the fire department, fire station over to Fostoria. This was done a couple months ago, and if I could get in my phone, I could tell you when it's gonna be, but I think it's another month or so away, but,
We typically do those for their Court of Honor. Is that his Court of Honor ceremony?
yes, yes.
Yeah, we typically do some sort of a proclamation.
Yes.
Is it still called a proclamation
Yeah.
for that? So, yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be
Just
great.
need the details.
Sometime within the next
Yeah.
4 to 6 weeks. And he took on a big project in the fire department in Seneca County in Fostoria, so
Great, great.
would like to,
And if somebody, you gonna go over? to
Yep,
the
I'll-
calendar?
yes,
Okay, good,
yes.
good. Okay, we'll work with Nikki to get the right wording on it. And
yeah.
Yeah, we've done those for a lot of Eagle Scouts.
Mhm.
Anybody that makes Eagle Scout, that's great, great thing. See, another new business? I don't have any either. We do have to have an executive session. But first, is there any public comment? All right, thank you all for coming. We need two executive session for two matters, actually. One is the appointment, employment dismissal, discipline, promotion, or compensation of a public employee, basically personnel, our short version of that. And the second is pending litigation. So is there a motion to go into executive for those things?
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, we're going to executive session at 10:24.
Any action?
Yeah, things are going to.
There will be no action afterwards, I don't believe. We'll call you.